Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. You are listening to the Daly Dose Sports Podcast, and I am your host, Clint Daly, coming to you from the Mile High City here in Denver, Colorado, and we are back for another week of talking sports with a dose of common sense. Hey, happy Wednesday to you. I hope your week is going well. I hope you, your family, your friends, you are all staying strong. You are all staying healthy right now. And yes, we are back from a short break. Yes, I know every year, come March Madness, it seems that I'm taking some sort of a break. But, spring break beckoned. And so we packed up. We went out to Southern California and took a short break. We spent some time with some very close family. We ate some excellent food. We drank some delicious wine. And if I'm being honest, I watched an embarrassing amount. Every single minute of pretty much every single game. Hey, I told you the NCAA tournament was wide open this year. I told you there were a number of good teams, but no great teams. And wow, what have we seen? For just the fourth time in NCAA history, we will not have a single number one seed in the Final Four. And for the very first time in NCAA history, we didn't even have a number one seed make it to the Elite Eight. And while it is always fun to have those big dog teams, you think back to years past, the UCLAs, the UNLVs, the Dukes, the North Carolinas, that are the big, heavy favorites. And we're all sitting there saying, hey, can anyone beat that big dog this year? Those seasons are really fun. But are you going to tell me that this tournament hasn't been entertaining? We have seen upsets and surprises and amazing player performances and some really good coaching and, yeah, probably some really bad coaching or maybe some players not listening to their coaches or whatever. But it has also been a very fun tournament, and it has been edge of your seat excitement in pretty much every game because you don't know how it's going to go. Also, at least according to ESPN, it seems the women's tournament has also been going, and it sounds like it has been very, very entertaining as well. Now, if I'm being completely transparent, if I'm being completely honest, I haven't watched a single second of the women's tournament. I haven't. I've been watching the men's tournament so much that I just haven't had time. But do not judge me for that. Don't act like you're a better person than me because you have watched some of the women's games. Hey, I've seen some of the highlights, and I've seen the crowds of tens of people there. So don't act like I'm the only one not watching. Apparently, there's not that many people watching. Besides, remember this. I have coached both boys and girls basketball to high school level. So I have coached women playing basketball. I have an appreciation for their game. Don't you look down your nose at me just because I haven't been watching the women's tournament. I know what's going on there for the most part. No, I couldn't really tell you the teams that are there. I think there's some big favorites have been upset. Maybe South Carolina is the big dog. That's pretty good, right? And by the way, I know what missed layups look like, so I don't have to watch the whole thing. Hey, before we jump in today, just want to remind you, be sure you're stopping by DailyDoseSports.com, where we have new articles going up every week. In fact, if you stop by this week, you might have saw some news that we broke concerning the NBA. Trying to figure some things out. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more later in the show. But we have links to the podcast there. We have links to the video there. And yes, we have links to the Daly Dose gear. If you need a t-shirt, you need a hoodie, you need a sweatshirt, go over to DailyDoseSports.com. You can find exactly what you need. Make sure you're stopping by there every single week. Also, before we do get started today, we do have our Daily Dose Bracket Challenge, which had like 50 bracket entries this year. And I wanted to give you an update on the current standings as they are right now. Remember, we do still have 2 Final Four games left. We do still have the final game left. But right now, this moment, SR Daly 25 is currently in first place with 630 points. I haven't confirmed it, but I believe that that bracket belongs to the son of Daly Dose. So we'll keep an eye on that. He has Connecticut versus Alabama in his final game, with Alabama winning it all. So he could still get some points from UConn if they make it to the final game. Talk about that a little bit more later. Michelle is in second place with 590 points. She has Kansas beating Alabama in the final, so she cannot earn any more points. An entry by the name of Pills Valium entered, 10 brackets, and they have Texas beating Purdue in their final, in their third place bracket. They have 570 points in that bracket. They have 560 points in their fourth place bracket, but they have Alabama beating Texas in that one, so they can't earn any more points. P-Dub is in fifth place with 530 points, but they have Houston beating Alabama, both of which are, of course, out. But we will be updating those final standings next week on the Dose, and we will let you know who will be winning our Daily Dose t-shirt. So be sure and listen and find out who will be our challenge winner. For the record, my bracket crashed and burned in brutal fashion this year. Worst I've ever done in the tournament. And yet, we'll see. We'll see how everything ends up. We'll see how it all settles in. Hey, today on the show, we are now down to the Final Four in the NCAA tournament, and we are going to be taking a brief look back at who the winners and losers of this tournament have been so far, and we will be making our Final Four predictions and our championship prediction as well on the Dose, and we will have a brand new Daily Dose Top 5 for you today, and by brand new, I mean not exactly brand new, but like kind of new. More like new and improved, I guess. More about that a little later. Okay, YouTube, that is it for the YouTube video this week. But like I said, be sure you do go over and check out the full podcast. We have some news about the NCAA tournament rankings. We have a little bit of NBA news. We have some coaches that are on the move in college hoops. And then, like I said, we will be breaking down the winners and losers of the tournament so far. We'll be giving our predictions for the Final Four and the championship. And we have a Daily Dose Top 5 for you that is discussing March Madness upsets and some of the biggest ever. So be sure you go over and check out the full podcast. I will leave a link here in the comments on YouTube for you. Hope you all are doing well. I will see you all next Wednesday. Have a great week.